Yeah, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Give us a short introduction of yourself, your name, and who you are, and what you work on this project.
Hi, my name is Janel Traver. A lot of people call me Jan, so I go by Jan sometimes. And I'm a visual development artist, currently based out of Los Angeles. And I did visual development work for the short film Madina Papel over a span of, I don't remember even how long I was working on it, like a year or so. Just doing different things, characters, environments, props, all kinds of fun stuff. So,
what made you want to become an artist?
I think that my biggest influences as a child was watching like all the old Disney films. So I was an only child, so that was my majority of my entertainment, watching movies and stuff, just sitting there. I would play them like 3 or 4 times in a row if my parents let me. Also, my grandma was an artist, so we would like draw paper dolls together and cut them out because you can buy the sets, but why would you do that if you could just draw them yourself and make the outfits all on your own?
So could you share some of the past projects that you worked on?
So most recently, other than Madina Papel, I was working on a 2D animated TV show. I'm not sure when it's going to be coming out, and the production is based out of Taiwan, I believe, but it's called The Best Husband for a Supervillain. And other than that, it's been my school at Academy of Art University, and I was in Studio X. I worked on the Foodie Cats a little bit, Steve's Catch, which just came out a couple of months ago. So.
Is there any particular thing or topic that you like to create art about?
Definitely. My favorite genres are really any genre that takes us out of like what we experience in the day-to-day. I like to help people kind of escape from their normal, I suppose, feel like transported somewhere else. So I really, really love creating fantasy creatures, drawing just animals in general, because I feel like they're so different from people. Yeah, and at the same time, I'm also really interested in exploring facets of our society and things that we're not comfortable talking about or things that need to be talked about, like environmental conservation. It would make me really sad to think that like my kids growing up maybe wouldn't be able to see an elephant in real life, for instance.
We heard a little bit about you being a musician as well. So could you tell us about your music background? What kind of instrument or what kind of music do you do?
I am a harpist. I started that in 3rd grade, started my lessons. And I kept playing harp really regularly up through high school. Unfortunately, not too much anymore because we moved down to LA, and I have a big harp, like a pedal harp. But that's kind of difficult to bring down here and live in an apartment. So it's part of me, and I think that I did draw inspiration from music in creating my art as well. I'm a big believer that everybody should pursue the thing that they really, really, truly love most to do in the whole world. And I don't really believe there's a specific reason for each of us having a thing, right? But that's just what we do. I think it's one of the healthiest things that we can accomplish with our lives as human beings, is just take that risk and go out there and do something that not everyone will necessarily think that you can do.
So you've designed about 5 different characters on our short film. Were there any that you remember, any character that you found really difficult?
I wouldn't say that any of them was extra difficult in comparison to the others. I did really connect with Gufran as I went along with that design process, just because he's the backbone of the whole story, and he really just ties everything together. And he's the different one, the colorful one. I guess I always have sort of felt like the colorful one, at least in my family, from Montana. Like none of our families left Montana for a couple of generations. Well, lived there for so long. So going out and experiencing all this new stuff and bringing it back with you. And I think we designed him to look kind, and I like kind people.
Adding to the characters also the whole story of Madina Papel, like how does it tie to your value in life in general?
This story really did resonate with me from the beginning. Sometimes we feel like I feel like all of us think we're maybe an outcast in our own sort of special little way. So as an artist, being from Montana, there was never that good of an outlet for like an animation student. There's no animation school, or, you know, at least that I know of. Somebody can tell me if there's an animation school in Montana, you know, but I don't know of one. So I knew that I always had to leave and come back, and I relate with Gufran, our main character, and also reaching out with that love, regardless of how you may have been treated in the past. In the story, his family is not very understanding, especially with a father, you know, being abusive. And I feel like forgiveness is something that we've almost lost in our human society, which is sad. And I think that's something so important we're bringing to the forefront with this story. Forgiving and moving on is one of the best things that we can do, both for ourselves and for our families.
So when it comes to like your artistic style, when you do your environment pieces, mostly colors and textures and not much line work. Yeah. So do you tend to gravitate towards those styles? Any artist inspirations that you want to share with us?
I definitely repeatedly go back to certain artists, although I don't know that my style personally is that similar to any of them. It's probably just a conglomeration of all different styles from different influences. But Corey Loftus is one of my main inspirations. Who worked on like Zootopia and all this stuff. Did some amazing paintings for them. He's an amazing character designer as well. And then like Loish, I love her color choices. She's always doing something different, and I'm like, ooh, I want to try that color combo. Pernil Orum. I'm also not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but her too, with more of a graphic style sense, but that same unusual choice in colors.
Any animations or movies that you would recommend to our audience these days to watch?
Recently, we were really into Hilda. Quickly watched through all of those episodes, waiting for more. Carmen Sandiego, also really, really good. There was this new anime that they just came out with on Netflix just a couple of days ago. I was just now seeing it. So I think it's called Brand New Animal. It's like BNA. That's really good. Klaus also, I'm a huge fanatic for Klaus. And I should watch it again, even though it's a Christmas movie. I don't care.
For people watching, how can they follow you and your work on social media?
For sure. So I do have a website, and it's just www.artofjan.net, and that's Jan, Jan. My Instagram handle is artofjan, just like the website. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I do the majority of my activity and posting on Instagram and my website. So yeah, come find me on any or all of those platforms. I appreciate it.
Great.
I really enjoyed this interview, and I feel like so inspired by your answer, Janelle, and we are very happy that you're a part of the team.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you for having me too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.